Okay, today we're going to talk about the most frustrating SpongeBob SquarePants episode, Stuck in the Ringer. So, this is pretty much just a SpongeBob torture episode. Like, everybody's always talking about Squidward torture episodes, where basically Squidward is, screwed over the entire episode, even though he did nothing to deserve it. And yeah, that's kind of like how SpongeBob was in this episode. He did nothing wrong, and he's just, mistreated pretty much the whole episode. So let's talk about that. So the episode starts with SpongeBob taking a shower, and he winds up basically he slips on a bar of soap. So he dropped the soap, unfortunately, which you should never do. But yeah, he slips and he gets stuck in the ringer. So he can't get out of the ringer, and then Patrick shows up because he's looking for his rubber ducky. And SpongeBob tells Patrick that he's stuck and he can't get out. Yeah, so that's how a lot of porn starts. But luckily, that nothing like that happens. But instead, Patrick takes out Forever Glue, which is a glue that lasts forever, and he puts it on SpongeBob's ringer so that he's stuck forever. I know Patrick is stupid, but why does he do that? SpongeBob clearly says, I'm stuck and I want to get out. And Patrick takes this as, oh, he wants to be stuck forever. So now SpongeBob is permanently stuck. And SpongeBob kind of freaks out because now he's stuck in the ringer. And instead of calling, a hospital, SpongeBob just decides to try to live his life normally. So he goes to the Krusty Krab, he goes to work, and he's unable to do his job because his arms are stuck, see? And he gets kicked out. Mr. Krabs kicks him out. He's like, don't come back until you can fix whatever's going on. And Mr. Krabs, by the way, shows no concern. He's just annoyed that SpongeBob can't do his job. He doesn't care that SpongeBob's stuck in the ringer. He doesn't try to help him. He just cares that he can't work. So Patrick's like, hey, how'd it go? And SpongeBob tells Patrick what happened, and SpongeBob starts to cry. Rightfully so, because I think anyone would cry in this situation. And Patrick has the nerve to tell SpongeBob not to cry. He's like, hey, stop crying. Crying doesn't solve anything. When you're the one who's causing the problem, you don't really have a right to tell someone how to react to it. I mean, you shouldn't tell someone how to react to their problems anyway, but especially not when you're the one causing it. So Patrick tries to cheer SpongeBob up. They go to get ice cream, and SpongeBob can't swallow because the ringer is by his throat, which that right there is a serious problem. If he can't eat something as soft as ice cream, that means he just can't eat, which means he's going to starve. But that's completely glossed over. Patrick's like, oh, okay, let's go to the carnival instead, and then he eats SpongeBob's ice cream. Freaking jerk. So then they're at the carnival. SpongeBob is going on the teacup ride, but he falls out because he can't hold on to the handles. So he gets injured, and also he tries to throw a baseball, the game where you throw a ball and knock down the pins and you get a prize. Yeah, he tries to do that, and it bounces off and hits him right in the eye, so he gets a black eye. So again, this is SpongeBob torture for no reason. He's getting tortured just because. Just because. I don't know. So then SpongeBob snaps and he yells at Patrick. And then Patrick runs away crying, even though he just told SpongeBob not to cry. Now he's crying. And then the entire town turns against SpongeBob, saying, the ringer's not the problem. It's your heart. You deserve what happened to you. Which is just extremely harsh because they have no idea what happened. And this is entirely on Patrick. Patrick made SpongeBob stuck on purpose. He wasn't trying that. Patrick's like, oh, I was only trying to help. You weren't trying to help. You purposely made SpongeBob stuck. Again, it's never explained. SpongeBob said he needed help getting unstuck, and Patrick took this as SpongeBob wanted to get more stuck. So then, later on, we see SpongeBob in his pineapple with a beard, in a, not even a depressed state, just I don't even know what to call it, because he's been completely, cut off from the rest of the world. He's in, I don't know what to call it, but he's just staring at the static on the TV, and he's not really aware of what's happening around him. And Jesus Christ, that's extremely dark. Patrick just ruined SpongeBob's life because now everybody hates him. And so Patrick starts crying again, even though he told SpongeBob not to cry. And then the tears are making the glue get unstuck. And then so SpongeBob and Patrick both cry, and the glue fades away, and now SpongeBob's unstuck from the ringer. And then SpongeBob looks right at the camera and says, "I guess crying does solve your problems after all." And then SpongeBob throws the ringer in the air, and then they both get stuck. And then that's it. So let's talk about what's wrong with this episode. So, first of all, Patrick is just being a jerk throughout the episode. He's the reason SpongeBob's stuck in the ringer. And then he continues to be a jerk to SpongeBob with the ice cream and with the carnival. Like, he causes a bunch of injuries to SpongeBob and doesn't even care. And then plays the victim when SpongeBob calls him out on it. And then the entire town turns against him. So, yeah, it was just really upsetting to watch, because SpongeBob did nothing wrong in this episode. He did nothing to deserve this. So he just and Mr. Krabs is a jerk to him by kicking him out instead of trying to help him. So yeah, that was annoying. And then at the end, where crying does turn into the solution, and then SpongeBob just looks at the camera and says directly to the audience, "Oh, crying does solve your problems after all." That's kind of not a good lesson. I mean, obviously it's okay to cry, but it just kind of felt weird. Like, Patrick telling SpongeBob crying never solves anything. It's like, I guess that's true. Crying doesn't automatically solve your problems, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't cry. Like, it's okay to cry. Like, if you're stuck and you think you're going to be stuck forever and you can't function and you can't do any of the things you normally do, I feel like anyone would cry in that situation. But that shouldn't have been, like, the lesson. Like, crying shouldn't have been the solution. Like, yeah, it should have been, it's okay to cry, but we're still going to find a way to help you. And, like, the fact that SpongeBob looked right at the audience when he said crying solves your problems makes it seem like that was supposed to be the lesson of the episode, which I think is kind of a flawed lesson. Like, does that make sense what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't cry. I'm saying you should cry. You should be allowed to cry. It's a healthy, normal thing to do. But that shouldn't have been I don't know. I mean, SpongeBob crying being the thing that makes the glue fade away isn't what bothered me. It was the fact that SpongeBob looks right at the audience and says, "I guess crying does solve your problem." It just, I don't know. But yeah, this whole episode was kind of frustrating. I would have liked it better if, like, what about this? What if SpongeBob's ringer was broken at the beginning of the episode, right? So he calls Patrick over to help him fix it, and then Patrick uses the forever glue to put it back together, and then SpongeBob slipped on the bar of soap and got stuck in the ringer. See, that way, Patrick actually would have been trying to help SpongeBob, and SpongeBob getting stuck would have been an accident. That way, SpongeBob yelling at Patrick later on would have been more justified. Patrick's side would have been more justified, because in that case, he would have been trying to help, as opposed to him just doing it for no reason. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the episode. What do you think? Did you think this episode is frustrating? What do you see as the most frustrating SpongeBob episode? Talk about it in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.